Dear Form 2 students, in this week we are going to look at the effects caused by landslide and how we can respond to a landslide. Okay, so we will talk about the textbook from page 21 to page 24. So also at the last week we have talked about the different factors leading to landslide. Okay, so from page 19 to page 21 we have talked about there are three of the lateral factors, including high rainfall, the steep slope, and also the granites. Okay, the granites, which is one of the major rock types in Hong Kong, are prone to weathering, which are easily to be weathered, which cause the loose soil. So that at the last time we have talked about there are three lateral factors leading to landslide. And then there are also two human factors which will also lead to landslide, which including we develop on the slope, we have different kind of the development on the slope, and also if they have some of the man-made slope, we have lack of the slope maintenance, it will also cause landslide easily. Okay, so please refer to the last week videos when we talk about the 5 factors leading to landslide. Okay, so that's for this week we are going to look at the impact of landslide. So that on page 21, the last parts, we can look at the figure on the left hand side to see that what are the impacts of landslide. Okay, so similar to the other lateral hazards, so that there are different kinds of the impact it will cause to us. Okay, some of the negative impact, so including bury the building and vehicle. Bury means that 淹沒. Okay, so that's when they have different kind of the weathered soil, rocks or different kind of things slide down along the slope quickly, so that the building, the vehicle on the ground surface will be easily to be buried, okay, or covered with this kind of the material. Okay, so that when they have some of the bury of the building and vehicle, it will cause the casualties. Okay, which means that they have the death and injury. Okay, and also it will cause the loss of property because our houses, okay, maybe our cars or some of our luxury product will be lost. Okay, will be also covered with the soil. And then on the other hand, it will affect the road surface situation. Okay, so it will cause the traffic congestions or the blockage of the road, so that is very easy. And then once the whole pieces of the land fall down, okay, slide down along the slope, it may damage the electric cables and the water pipes and cause the cut off of the electricity and water supply, so it's very easy to understand. Okay, so that for the cartoon on the textbook on the left hand side, we can see that when they may have a strong rainfall, okay, the slope material slide down along the slope because the gravity is greater than the friction and cohesion. Okay, so that the buildings are collapsed, okay, slide down along the slope also. And then the people, the cars or other things on the road may be covered, may be buried by this kind of the material. Okay, and it will cause maybe the casualties and also the loss of properties. Okay, so that's how we can respond to landslide. Okay, so that there are different measures we can do. So for the first one, okay, we can define those kind of the measures in the preventive measures, 一啲嘅避免山泥傾瀉發生嘅方法。Okay, preventive measures. So how can we strengthen the slope? Okay, how can we consolidate the slope? Okay, and then on page 24, there are some of the measures to relieve. Okay, so that once they have the heavy rainfall or once the landslide occur, how can we reduce the impact caused by the landslide? 一啲嘅舒緩嘅措施。Okay, so that's we will look at the page 22 first, the preventive measures. Okay, so that's we can talk about, okay, we can reinforce and also maintain the slope. 加固個山坡啦，維護個山坡。Okay, so that to reinforce means that we can strengthen the slope, consolidate the slope. Okay, and then maintain the slope because in the urban area we have many kinds of the man-made slope. Okay, so that how we can maintain this kind of the man-made slope in the urban area. Okay, so that's for the first one. In fact, they have a government department which called GEO. Okay, they are responding the safety of the slope. So that for the GEO, the full term, it is the Geotechnical Engineering Office。咁香港有一個專門嘅政府部門咧，係處理呢一啲嘅山坡嘅安全嘅。咁呢一個嘅部門叫做土力工程處啦。In short form, it is GEO, Geotechnical Engineering Office. So that please remember the full name of this government department, Geotechnical Engineering Office. Okay, so that's for the GEO. They will carry out rigorous reinforcement work, okay, to consolidate the slope, and also they will inspect and maintain the danger slope regularly. Okay, but it say that they will mainly respond to the public slope, 一啲嘅公眾嘅山坡。Okay, but then how about the private slope？ 一啲嘅私人山坡又點呢？咁咩叫公眾嘅山坡？咩叫私人嘅山坡？因為我哋香港好多嘅地方啦，係啦，即係可能一啲嘅私人嘅地方咧，都係有山坡嘅，係啦。咁所以咧，如果係嗰塊地係一啲嘅私人嘅業權，係啦，而嗰塊地上面係有一啲嘅山坡嘅話咧，咁嗰啲嘅私人山坡嘅維修咧，咁其實就要私人係去處理嘅。Okay, so that's for the private slope. The building department, okay, we require the owner of the private slope to arrange the slope maintenance. Okay, so that's in Hong Kong we can see that there are two major types of the slope. Okay, some of them belongs to the government, belongs to the public. We call it the public slope. The safety will be responsible by GEO. But then if the slope is owned by the private owners, okay, those kind of the private slope, the slope owner, they need to respond to their own slope safety. Okay, so that the building department and also the GEO will provide some of the help to them, okay, to advise them how to maintain their own slope. Okay, then in fact you can see that on some of the public slope, you can see on the roadside there are different kind, they have some of the sign on it. Okay, in fact they are talking about the different types of the slope. So maybe for this slope it is responsible by the highway department. For this slope it is responsible by the water supply department. Okay, this is the agricultural service department or some of the public estate. Okay, so that's they will so that on some of the slope we can see this sign which is talking about which department is responding to this slope. Okay, so let us look at the different ways to consolidate the slope. So we can look at the page 23, the figure 8. There are different way we can strengthen the slope. Okay, so that let us look at the PowerPoint here. So for the first one, we call it the soil nail. 咁呢度有唔同嘅一啲嘅加固山坡嘅方法。咁呢一度咧就有一個叫做泥釘啦，或者石釘嘅嘢。Okay, soil nail 泥釘。Okay, so that for the soil nail, there are some of the concrete. Okay, they have some of the concrete. It will ejecting to the hole here. Okay, so that it can maintain the slope safety. And then so for this one, okay, so we can see that next to the steps here, they have the channel. Okay, they have the drainage channel. So it can help to drain away the excessive rainwater when they have the strong rainfall. Okay. And then so for the left hand side, the retaining wall. Okay, so that in the urban area, you usually find this kind of wall that they have some of the bricks, Okay, they are stepping up the bricks so that it look like a wall. Okay, to protect the soil behind. Okay, so that is a retaining wall so that it can support the slope, and also as they have a cover of the bricks here, it can prevent the water from infiltrating from the top layer into the soil. And then for the concrete cover, it's also very common in the urban area, so that we will spray the concrete on the slope, okay, so that it can consolidate, it can strengthen the slope, so that it can prevent the rocks from falling. So here you may see that there's some of the big rocks here, okay, so that when the whole slope is covered with concrete, so that this kind of the big rocks or other kind of the rocks can be stick on the slope and preventing it from falling down. And then also the concrete, it is also prevent infiltration of rainwater, okay, so that the water, it will lie at the surface of the slope, okay, so that it will not infiltrate, it will not goes into the slope, to increase the amount of the water inside the slope, because we know that the water is one of the major factors, okay, to reduce the friction and cohesion among the slope, and also the water can increase the weight, so that by cover the concrete or the retaining wall, then it can prevent the water to infiltrate into the slope, okay. And then for the next one, okay, we also need to have the regulation of the slope development, okay, so that as we say that they have many natural slope or the man-made slope in Hong Kong, okay, so that if we put too many development on the slope, it will increase the weight of the slope, okay, or it's too dangerous for some of the surfaces or the buildings stay on the slope, so that the government will require all the construction project need to be approved by the GEO, okay, no matter the construction of the residential units or the roads, the highway, etc. They will evaluate, okay, whether the places surrounding it have a high risk of landslide. Okay, if they have high risk of landslide, then the GEO may not approve the development at that region or at that area, okay. And then also before developing on the slope, the government will conduct detailed surveys and adopt a sufficient slope reinforcement measure, okay, to reduce the chance of landslide. So that just like if we want to develop these parts of the slope, okay, we need to strengthen the slope behind, and then all of these measures, they need to approved by the GEO. And then for the next one, so that's for the points we have just talked about the preventive measure to consolidate the slope to reduce the chance of landslide. But then for the on page 24, okay, on page 24 we are going to look at the relief measure. The relief measure is, okay, once the landslide occur, how can we reduce the effects caused by landslide? Okay, so for here, the first one, we can establish the effective warning system, so that when they have the strong rainfall, okay, we may have a high chance of landslide. Then, okay, the Hong Kong Observatory, 香港天文台, okay, and the GEO, 土力工程署, they will decide whether they will issue the landslide warning or not, okay, to tell the people they need to stay away from the steep slope, okay. And also at some of the road next to the steep slope, the people or the government will also put the warning sign next to it, okay. So just like they have some of the sign, okay, we will put on the maybe the retaining wall or at some of the steep slope to tell the people, okay, maybe or also to tell the driver they need to stay away from this kind of the steep slope, because this steep slope or the retaining wall may have the chance of landslide, okay, during the rainstorm, okay. So that here is the symbol of the landslide warning. And then for the last point, the public education. Okay, so after we have the establishment of the effective warning system, if the people, okay, if the general public have a better understanding about landslide, okay, and they can respond to landslide better, then it can reduce the loss caused by landslide. Okay, so that the government will promote the slope safety, and they have different kind of public education activities to inform, okay, to teach the citizens about the precautionary measures for the landslide. Okay, so just like here, they have some of the promotion. Okay, so it tell the driver, okay, to stay away from the steep slope. Okay, or if the people live in the squatter house next to the steep slope, they may need to, okay, evacuate to the safety places during rainstorm or during typhoon. Okay, and also there are different kinds of the way we can protect ourselves, okay, to stay away from the steep slope. Okay, so that here is the public education. So that's in this week you need to do the part of the let's explore, okay, on page 25. So that you also need to use the Google form to submit the answers, okay, for this activity. Okay, so that please goes to the e-classroom to find the Google form to submit. Okay, so that there are 4 questions. There are 4 questions you need to complete. Okay, so that's we have finished this topic. We have finished the chapter 3. Okay, so that for the next time, for the next week, I will ask you to do the revision, okay, on page 27 to page 28, and also the worksheets, okay, the worksheets. So in the next time, in the next week, I will not upload the new video. Okay, I will let you to do the revision part first and also the worksheets. So that here is our lesson. So we stop here. Thank you everyone.